Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Claudia. Cheers, everybody. It's Thursday night. It's the last Thursday of Pisces season, and I think that's a cheers. Cheers, Jen. Cheers. All right. We already got some questions on deck, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in here. Ooh, we've got somebody new here. All right, we've got a being here, right here. Okay. She, it's a female, and she is wearing like very white, like sparkly, shimmery type of white shift type of thing. She's got long white hair. She's got some sort of thing, like a wreath type of thing. She's got a big blue gem type of thing on her third eye. Mm-hmm. Welcome. Pleiadian. She is Pleiadian. So she is not part of the Purple Crescent Council. So, all right then. Well, we're off to the races. Yes, baby. Miss Jen is here. Say hi to Eli.
Hi, Eli.
Okay. I guess she'll talk to us when she wants to. What's our first question? We're plugged in.
Okay, our first question is, are there ways to connect to our soul tribe that are not in our direct vicinity?
Yes. They like this question. They're going like this. Yes, so what was the phrasing? Was it soul tribe?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there are many different ways of describing what soul tribe means for you, but we understand that what you're asking is finding those who resonate at your current frequency and who feel like family. Without even understanding that you're doing it, you're already putting out vibrations and signals to your energetic family. You are, through your learning processes, attracting those who wish to be with you during this leg of your journey. The biggest obstacle to connecting with your soul family or energetic family is keeping around you a vibration which would ward them off. At this point in your journey, if you're vibrating at this level and you would like others vibrating at this level to vibrate with you at this level and join you, imagine if most of the people around you are vibrating here. They're taking up a lot of bandwidth for you because you are not only fighting to maintain your current vibration, but you're often dipping down to meet them in this vibration. You're going up and you're down, up and you're down, up and you're down. When you're up here, you are sending out the signals to your tribe, to your soul family. But when you dip down, the transmission is lost. And then they get closer and they get closer and closer, but then when you dip down, they lose you. So the best way to maintain connection and fully pull in your tribe or energetic family is to be sure that those around you are resonating at your frequency, and if they are not, allowing them to move wherever they need to move, and you not allow yourself to dip down into lower frequencies. Does that make sense? I think so.
Yes, very much.
I think it does. There's more on this. This is for me, actually. They want me to tell you this. This is something that it's very human, so I'm going to tell you. But just as an aside, when we are talking, and especially when the Purple Crescent are talking about vibrations high or low, please make sure that you frame that in your mind and you don't replace high or low with better and less good or bad or anything like that. Make sure you're not creating internal judgments on a high frequency versus a low frequency. And remember that during the course of the day, we're like this, okay? But we're talking about the average of your frequency, okay? So just wanted to pop that in there. I'm gonna go ahead. We have another question. What happened today at 3 a.m.? Hold on to that.
What a great question.
Hold on to that. Does the next question tie into this, or should we do that?
Yeah, the next question's about polarity.
Oh, let's do that.
Do you have one? Okay. Just let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Is polarity a human construct?
So, Rachel, are you here? I know that was your question. When you say polarity, do you also mean duality? Like, do you mean that? I just want to make sure that I understand the question completely. Hi, Matt. Hi, Cindy. And Rosa, I got your question.
Oh my goodness, that one. I thought Rachel was here, but I'm not.
She was definitely here in the first leg. I'm not sure if she's back. No, she's here.
Back. She's not typed yet.
We know I've got a lag. Okay, yes and yes.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yes and no. There is a trend of thought currently moving through your planet that the concept of duality is only human in nature and no other realms exist in that same duality. That is not true. Duality is not exclusive to Earth. And duality is not exclusive to your current time period or the segment of time that you call your known period of human time. In order to experience certain things, duality is required. So Earth has been, up until this point, a planet where one can go to experience very specific emotions and scenarios that require duality in its full potent form. It was not created by you, but it is experienced by you on purpose. Other realms have varying degrees of duality that are not so stated as what you currently have on your planet. And it is moving out of the stark variance of duality that you currently find yourself in. We are not sure what your specific goal is in eliminating duality, but we hear you speaking of this frequently. So we would posit a question to you as a human. Do you believe that duality is in direct opposition to finding peace for yourself as humans? Uh-oh. I don't even understand that question fully.
I'm a little stumped.
I don't think you're supposed to answer that, Rachel, or anybody. I think just think about it. Hold on a second. We get some clarification. I feel like that was like a massive rabbit hole. No, we're happy. We're happy to further discuss it. We simply have a question about clarifying your question. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. Consider duality without personality. Consider duality without judgment. Consider the sun and the moon, which are the ultimate of duality. Consider that without darkness, you don't understand light. Without light, you don't understand darkness. So to say that polarity was created by humans would mean that all of those constructs were also created by humans. Now, when you ask yourself, were the concepts of duality changed by humans, by constructs created by humans to manipulate duality? Yes, that would be true. You have many programs which do this, which play upon the essence of duality and turn it into something with specific personalities that employ judgment, that employ punishment, that affect pain versus pleasure. But at their core, duality is always necessary to receive an experience. We hope that makes sense, but please ask clarifying questions.
Nothing yet here?
Nope, nothing here. But I have my baby over here hyping me up, saying subscribe to Sarah Amala. Thank you, Eli.
I love a good hype man.
Bye, babes. Okay, let's jump to a question.
Next one. What happened at 3 a.m. last night?
We would like to remark that it is with great pleasure that we observe how incredibly sensitive you have all become to the energies. This pleases everyone who is tuned into Earth at this time, because it means that our messages and our contact and support can actually be received in a real way at this time, and shows us that Earth is making a transition and ascension upward. At 3 a.m., where your transmission is currently being sent, these are simply coronal. These are simply coronal energies. Okay, so they're showing me an actual, so if you imagine this is the Earth right here, and let's say this is the sun here and this is the moon here, they're showing me a room like this kind of like circular ellipse type of a thing, and then one here, ellipse like this, and the coronal is connected to the sun?
Yes.
Okay, for heaven's sakes. Anyway, so the coronal is connected to the sun, and there was a huge influx on the in-swing curve of the ellipse that greatly affected this hemisphere. So they're showing me the hemisphere of the Atlantic Ocean at the top, where I'm guessing this is like Greenland, and moving down through the Atlantic Ocean, and like the finger edges would have been the East Coast, going all the way down. It deeply affected the ocean itself. It's meant for the, okay. The frequency, and there are other frequencies of this nature that have been coming through, are actually meant for the underlying ocean, the yes, like the floor. Thank you. What underlies the ocean? The floor. Things are rising up out of the ocean, basically, is what I'm hearing, and the frequencies of the coronal blah 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 whatever. The energies coming through is being directly focused down into the ocean to help awaken the dormant areas. Yes. Jen's over here going, Atlantis. You can say it out loud. You can really be here. You just couldn't sit next to me. In other words, awakening. Jean is saying anything to do with tectonic plates. Yes, that's exactly what's happening. So, ooh boy. So look for earthquakes and look for volcanoes. The majority of the earthquakes and volcanoes will be in the actual ocean. But as we all know, we're connected to all of these plates. And so we are going to be receiving some serious shock waves and volcanic activity, earthquake activity, these solar flares and the influx of energy are causing the earth to basically rise up from itself. And those of you who are now, well, all of you listening actually is what they're saying, tuning into this frequency, you're at a place where you are energetically, you've softened your armor, so to speak, enough that you are feeling what the earth is feeling in a very small way. So anything that you feel in your body, remember the earth itself is a body and is also receiving these energies directly. So yeah, there's a lot of movement happening.
There's been some discussion, and prediction's not the right word, but discussion coming into spring equinox and this coronal hole that's facing us, that we should be seeing things over the weekend into the beginning of next week that would lead to this kind of activity.
Oh.
Do they feel like this is like going to be a continuous rollout of energies? Okay.
Yeah. So we do, they want to make sure that you understand that this is not a doomsday prophecy. They really shy away from that in deepness. Bye, baby. I love you. This is the natural course of the chosen path we are on. You can't get somewhere without the consequences of choices, and the consequences of choices at this point mean great change fast. Great change fast. And the ocean floor itself, what they're showing me is a resurfacing. So the topography, the topography of the ocean floor is actually changing. And so hidden things are being released and secrets are coming to the surface. So I would also say that based off of that, look for some interesting new discoveries being made by those who study anything having to do with marine biology, fishermen, like anybody in the ocean area. Look for things coming through, especially like I'm seeing like ancient artifacts being unearthed because they've been buried for so long and they're now coming back up. So, ooh, yay! It's exciting and also like, what the heck? Wow. Great questions, guys.
These are good. Did you have any more on IG before I bring in another question?
No, I don't think so. Wait, actually, hold on one second. Rosa said she saw lots of mermaids. What do you mean you saw lots of mermaids? But yes, mermaids. Yes, mermaids. She's doing like explosion head. If you have specific mermaid questions, please ask them.
Yes, please.
So, like, seriously, all of you guys, I know everybody, like, basically everybody who tunes in to anything these days is so incredibly polite and kind and gracious and, like, doesn't want to take up time from other people. But please ask all your questions. Like, don't even filter yourself. If you end up getting an answer that, like, you know, is kind of weird, it always works out. So feel free, do the things. She's saying that she saw mermaids at 3 a.m. She was awake. So, like, yeah. Well, the mermaids,
Is there a question we could move that into just for any information from our star families? Mm-hmm.
she said she's... Okay, so we have, I told you guys when we first started, there was a being that was here standing in the corner. Oh, okay, so she's not ready to talk yet. But anyway, I thought she was gonna say something. Oh, Lord. Okay, we do have right here. Star Child say, if it's okay, could I ask how I connect with my ancestors? I never really have been close to either sides of my family and I want to get to know them. Yes, we love this question. It's important to understand that your perceptions of time are different than ours. So linear time for us is, we understand it, but it is not how we live. And so when we look down at you, and not down, but when we connect with Earth at the present time, when we see individual, we see the whole of the lineage. So we see you in other lives, spinning out from your current self, very much like a DNA strand that your scientists have discovered. So we see you echoing throughout time in your strand. We see your mother, your father, her mother, her father, aunts and uncles, and grandparents, and sisters and brothers, and they all weave and create a tapestry. So we hear you when you say you are not close, but that is a perception. You are always close and always connected to your ancestors because they are part of your chain, of your link. And if you consider what your DNA is, it is actually your infinite link to your earth bloodline. And it is constantly being added to from both ends and moving. So, in order to be in touch with your ancestors in a tactile way that feels with meaning to you in the present moment, all you need to do is quiet yourself and feel. Ask to connect and then soften enough to receive the information. Your ancestors, whether or not they are still on earth plane or earth energetic strata or have moved into other places, will always stay connected to you because the DNA strand transcends time, space, and universe. So you will always have access to them regardless of where they are currently incarnated or if they are not incarnated at all. Similar goes for star family, which is actually the same. So many of you have connections to us because we have been your grandparents or your brothers or sisters at some point along your DNA strand and can connect at the same time. Man, they are having a big...
It's a master class tonight.
Whew! You're asking like specific questions and they're like, here's your encyclopedia. But let's try to narrow this down for Star Child of how specifically she can connect with her specific ancestors in the now moment. Through what you call meditation, which is simply a quieting and connecting, and a trusting of the information that you are then given. You have the ability to do this. You are always connected, and your family is always with you without the construct of human emotion, but instead universal God star emotion, which is very different than what humans experience on the earth plane. Hello, Instagram friends. All right, well, I hope that was helpful. Again, feel free to send your questions. Do we have any more?
I had a question.
Let's hear it. Lord knows what's going to come of that.
I recently read that the 12-month calendar that humans clock time by is actually damaging the universe. So can they explain the truth of what that means?
The Gregorian time clock.
Yes.
Okay. Did you all hear Jen's question clearly? Hi, Lori. So she's asking about the Gregorian calendar or time clock and if that is damaging to the universe.
Or our human bodies, perhaps.
We would say this. That particular construct has removed you from the galactic family. It has severed your ease of connection with those around you and has isolated your planet. The construct of linear time in itself is not necessarily problematic, but the measuring of time has created an impact upon your human bodies, your human minds, and your ability to expand awareness outside of your current area. Many of you, for many centuries, have been unable to simply expand awareness beyond your earthly, what is this? I guess you would call it like your place of birth, much less beyond the earth itself. These are limiting constructs that have served a purpose in essence, that they have created tension within which containers of much learning can be had. At this time, it is our opinion, since you asked, that this Gregorian time clock can end, as we don't particularly see how it is of any benefit to you. We too have heard a theory that it is damaging to the universe itself. We don't know this. While it is true that the events on the Earth planet affect the other planets in its galaxy, none of us are taking your time clock too seriously. Your silly time. Oh my God, they're really interesting tonight.
I'm liking it, actually. I don't see any new questions on Facebook.
Hey, Liz.
Facebook's getting glitchy again. Do you have your stones in your hands?
No.
You're completely frozen at the moment. But
sorry. Here I am. I'm holding my stones. Holding my stones.
Okay, I just had to re-enter. It just kicked us out.
We'll talk about the mermaids. Amanda says, I resonate with that. I sometimes feel controlled by clocks, times, and things to do. That was something I needed to hear. Good. It's natural too. It's literally what we've been trained to do. All right, so this is difficult to parse because they're speaking to me. So we are going to, Purple Crescent, we are going to okay, so they're going to have me explain what I know about mermaids first, and then they're going to pop in with some more things. So story time. About 2 years ago, I went on a trip to the Azores Islands off the coast of Portugal. And this particular island that I went to is called Horta, and it is known by the people of this island as Atlantis, and as the highest most peak of what was once Atlantis. And everybody there will tell you this is where Atlantis was. And it's even in the airport, you get there and it's like, it's Atlantis. So I went there, and it was a week-long retreat, and we did swimming with the dolphins and the whales, but they were wild ponds, so we had to like go out into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and find them and just like jump in the water. So it was kind of a wild experience. But while I was there, one day I went on a little bit of a excursion with my roommate, and I was sitting at the edge of the island just kind of looking out in the water, and I had a past life memory that was very vivid of me as a mermaid. But the funny thing about that was, at that point, I had a very specific idea of what a mermaid was, but that was not what I was. I was not beautiful. I had very like dangerous hands where my nails were so sharp they could slit a man's throat, and indeed they did. And I had very barnacled skin and was just kind of a predator, like an apex predator type of ladyfish, right? And what I remembered about that life was that I was murdering people left and right. Like, that was what I did. I would go underneath their ships, and I would do something that would make them look over the edge, and I would grab them and I would kill them. And I hated them because they kept killing my friends, the dolphins and the whales. So I remembered that life at that time, and it kind of started getting me interested in mermaids in a way that I never had before, because I didn't know about that kind of a mermaid before, that weren't like, you know, Ariel and Little Mermaid type of thing. So that kind of started me off on that. And Cindy's saying Harry Potter mermaid, and I don't know what that is because I haven't really seen any of the Harry Potter things. Please don't be mad. Do you know?
Yes, and it would be very similar to what you're describing. It's more in that siren, but more like sharp.
Like sharp teeth and I'll kill you?
Nails and the ghost. It's more like ghostly, but the long, you know. I don't know what I'm doing, sorry.
Yeah, like not delicious.
No, like, yeah.
Or like I find you delicious because I'm going to eat you.
It's very much like a snack, yeah.
Yes, like very, very predator, very predator. So anyway, I had that memory, and ever since I've felt that connection. So I have kind of, tapped in here and there to that mermaid lifetime. Okay. So now the Purple Crescent is saying that there's not only just mermaids that are living in the ocean, there are other sentient beings that live in our oceans as well. And we don't really respect the ocean, generally speaking, and that's been an issue and has created dissension between our civilizations. When Atlantis was above ground, in the water surrounding Atlantis, something, what's Pangea? They're using that word.
Pangea would be the origin. You think about the way our landmass used to be before our plates moved us apart into these other continents.
Okay.
If I remember that correctly, but yes.
So they're just using that term for some reason. But regardless, mermaids were not the only sentient beings that were with what is this called? Part of society. They were part of our society, something that humans and mermaids, and they were also so the dolphins, the whales, but there were also other creatures that were kind of humanoid, but like not mermaids necessarily. They are like shark maids, and these like crab looking type of things that also were kind of humanoid in a way. So there's a lot going on in the ocean that they've basically decided not to partake with us as a whole, because we've been destroying their ecosystems for centuries. But that being said, with what is happening with the ascension of the earth, energetically speaking, all of that is changing, and the frequencies are changing. Of course, if you imagine on Earth, if we are feeling a frequency and it makes our ears hurt, imagine what it feels like in the water. So just consider that. It feels not good. I'm getting like downside of my body because they're like, no, it's like literally like almost destroying them at times because it's so strong. So it's waking everybody up, whether they want to or not. And literally I'm literally seeing Atlantis rising. Like it is rising. And I would not be surprised if at some point in the near future, we saw landmass in that space between Africa, South America, the United States, and whatever this is, like Portugal, like blah, 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 kind of like area. There's a lot going on in that area that is coming up. There was a question that I missed, but Jessica Niblet, it says, I'm curious how we can gain access to our past life memories. At this time, we would strongly suggest resisting the urge to unlock. You needn't. You don't need to unlock anything. Go with the flow. If something piques your interests, follow the trail and learn what happens and allow yourself to receive information. Your meditation is the way. However, you have too many thought constructs connected to that particular activity. So if you can remove the thought constructs from meditation, they're saying that meditation is how we connect to anything we want to. And it is simply a quieting of the body and mind. So when you go to meditate, they're saying, be sure that before you begin that process, you ground yourself, which means that you pull all of your energy into your body because you need all faculties on deck, so to speak. So you start your meditation by first pulling in all of your energy. Once your energy is all within your body, you close your eyes and soften everything. Soften, 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 soften. Soften, soften, soften. Soften your worries, soften your face, soften your eyes, soften your internal organs, soften everything. And once you feel that softening happen, just allowing yourself to receive whatever information comes. If you ask a question, allow the answer to come. So if you're interested in your past life memories, if you're interested in any of those things, you will receive them if you simply ask. The question is, will you believe them? But that is for you. The other thing we would caution you strongly is you have a very strong inclination to believe that past life memories are coming to you in order for you to resolve something that happened in the past. That is inaccurate and is a way of not being in the present moment. Anything that happened in what you call past tense, you needn't travel back to the time to be in that time. But if your past life memories are resurfacing in the present time, it means that there are gifts, intuitive abilities, facts, elements that are being gifted to you to use in your present incarnation. That is all. You needn't resolve anything in a past life. When you live your current life, all is smoothed out if you come from heart center and your intention in your life is to live a life of truth. Star Child is saying, I feel as though my calling is very high and I'm definitely meant to be a healer in some type of way, but I tend to get lost in life a lot. Is this normal? How can I listen to my soul and stay on my path? So I'm actually going to answer this one for you, like as Sarah, because I think that we all kind of get lost. I feel like we're getting lost, but it's so important to remember that even as we're getting all of these energies in and past life memories and learning all of these amazing things, remember the spiritual hierarchy. And if we've never interfaced, I don't think I've ever seen you before. You probably haven't talked about this, but we are at the top of the spiritual food chain. You are not a lesser being. You are not lower. You are not some little insignificant thing trying to regain some sort of greatness, okay? You are great. You are amazing. And you just forgot. You forgot who you are. So when you say you feel as though your calling is very high, of course it is. If you're a human on earth right now, you are of the highest calling. So feel good in that respect, okay? But at the same time, you can't go wrong. All you have to do is be yourself and live your human life, because that's actually what you came here to do. And it's not above being human. It's fully being human and taking the holy, taking the magical, and taking all of the sacred and pulling that into your current life as it is right now, which elevates it. So it is a journey. It is not an overnight thing, but the most important thing to remember is that you are amazing and you are already at the top of the food chain. You don't need to fix yourself. You are not broken. So please remember that, because I hear that so much from my clients that they're like, oh, I know that I'm meant to do something big, but I've got so much to work through and I keep getting lost in all of these different things. And it's like, no, you're not getting lost. You're exactly where you need to be. You came here to go through this maze of what we sometimes call fuckery, right? But you came here to do this and learn all these different things exactly in the way you're doing it. So thumbs up to you from me, from your soul team, from your angels, your guides, because you are doing it and you're following your intuition and you're doing everything you need to do. And you're awesome, all of you. So thumbs up for me. There's your pep talk. Wow, we're almost to the hour.
Does she have, our observer, have things to say?
I think she should, because it's kind of rude to show up if she doesn't. Just to be here and be weird.
I think we're good on questions right now. There was just, affirmations of what you said. So if she is ready, maybe we could wrap up.
With the party crasher?
Yeah.
Okay, her name is Adelaide, and she's actually here for somebody who's listening in the audience. I can't tell if the person listening in the audience is like in this current transmission or later, but this is okay, well, I'll just tell you. She's saying that she is she's currently in an incarnation of Pleiadian energy. However, she's connected to well, actually several people. Okay, so I don't see Lisa here, but Lisa's one of them. I'll talk to her later. But somebody who has glasses. They're showing me somebody with glasses and kind of like a fringe bang, like maybe dark hair. It could be dark. It could be brown or black. I don't know. Or it's just auburn, but like kind of straightish hair with like a fringe bang and glasses. And they're connecting with, they're coming through to give a message that, and I'm sorry, this is so very random, you guys, but we're just gonna roll. Everything's okay. Your grandfather is safe. You don't have to worry. Look to the stars. Keep peace in your heart. And the signs are coming. So for whoever that resonates for, there's your riddle for this evening. You can't make it up. Did I tell you her name already?
Adelaide.
Okay. I just couldn't remember for a second.
If she's willing to answer the question, I'm curious about this blue sapphire, because I mentioned that to you a few days ago, that a year ago I had a group of beings come through in a healing session with yellow skin and the blue sapphire on the third eye.
Were they from the Pleiades?
I don't know.
Okay.
I believe they had Pleiadian connection, but I'm curious about this.
So she's saying that her is, ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so she's saying that it is very common across cultures in the different galaxies and universes to decorate the third eye because they revere the third eye. So it is very common to place as a precious gem, especially when you have reached certain merits in your society. So it is not part of her, it's not part of her structure. It is a decoration. It is an adornment. It is an adornment, and does not define her lineage, but instead amplifies her abilities. And she also says, depending on who, what, where, and abilities and such, the third eye gems are often used as devices in order to transmit, and that's what she's using hers for right now.
Okay.
So she's showing me she put hers on like this so that she could be in the transmission tonight, and so that I could actually see her, and be able to relay a message when the time is right. She realized, she went into the side corner because she realized that this was not her platform, but she had permission from the Purple Crescent to be here.
That's amazing.
It's so cute. She's like kind of adorable.
Sounds like it.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, that was fun. Whew, you guys, never a dull moment over here. Thank you so much for joining in. You will be able to find this transmission on the podcast. I'm going to upload it there and also on YouTube. If you ever have any questions for the Purple Crescent Council, please send them in. You can email me, you can send me a message, and I'll always post a thing in my stories on Instagram, the day of, that you can use to ask questions. As a reminder, I just started putting up one-on-ones. So if you would like to do a one-on-one session with me, I have 2 available tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time, I think still, 9:30 and 11. And you can find those in my Instagram stories, or join the Facebook group on Facebook, the Restoration Facebook group, and you can find a link there. I will always post my availability in my Instagram stories, which then transfers to Facebook. So I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys. Thank you again so much for being here. The Purple Crescent says thank you so much for your amazing questions. Love you guys. I will be back tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning for the weekend energy update and for part 2 of the ego talk. So see you later. Love you, love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow.